Hello and welcome to TSL Talk for week one of the finals. And Adam, probably in the 4 years of the TSL competition, this is probably the most intriguing finals 5 teams we've had so far.
Yeah, I'd have to say so. It looks, even in a sense, and most of the teams bring in good form. I know Clarence is struggling a little bit, but you never write them off come finals time. So probably the most anticipated final series that I think we've had in the 3 years of the State League already.
Probably you can make a fair argument that the teams in 4th and 5th, Lauderdale and Glenorchy, they probably come in with better form than the teams in 2nd and 3rd. I mean, obviously, Burnie are deserved premiership favourites and have the week off. But like we said, Clarence limping in, Launceston being a bit patchy, and Lauderdale and Glenorchy both coming in real top form.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Lauderdale knocking off Clarence. Probably their biggest win ever in the State League. And Clarence have lost 3 of their last 4, so they're on shaky ground. And Glenorchy have had Clarence's measure as well, so they're both probably disappointed that they're not playing Clarence this week, given that they've had some good recent form against them. So Launceston's the one. I think they've won their last 4, albeit against, take Burnie out, some lower oppositions, but 2 120-point plus floggings. They're starting to turn the corner, and I think they might be the team that Burnie are keeping a close eye on.
Yeah, and also there was a win over South Launceston that was, from memory, about a goal and a half, about 8 to 9 points, I think. So, it's really intriguing game whether Clarence can just flick the switch, because they haven't showed much in the last month. And come finals time at North Hobart against Launceston in the qualifying final. Yeah,
and every side says it that you can't flick the switch, especially nowadays. And I think probably the most concerning point will be that it's not one thing that seems to be the issue. They flew out of the blocks against North Hobart and then snuck home from there. They got overrun by Lauderdale. They got smashed by Burnie. So they've got some issues there. Rowan Swan's been offered a week and they've accepted it. So big forward line that the Blues have. The big bristle man's back, and O'Donoghue and Derbyshire down there. So being a defender down, if Savage doesn't come up, they'll have some issues down back, I think.
I saw Brendan Savage at the game at Lauderdale. From what I saw, there's no chance he'll be playing this week. He'll be lucky to come back for the finals. He was really limping and all the rest, so he's got a long way to come back. And like you're saying, Rowan Swan out, him along with Mitch Williamson were probably their best players against Lauderdale. But that's probably what they do have. They've got Mitch Williamson and Trent Standard in the forward line, so they have got some weapons if they can get the ball there enough.
That's it, and it probably shows maybe the reliance they've had on someone like a Cameron Thurley over the years. He's still a star, but he's not the player that he was last year. Obviously, injuries are starting to take their toll. He's getting a bit older. You take a Jackson O'Brien out of that side. I know Brady Jones has come in, but maybe that midfield depth that we've all talked about the last few years, and their bottom 6 or 7 players probably aren't to the same level they were last year. So I think that's the difference at the moment. And if they don't find form quickly, they could find themselves maybe going out in straight sets.
Can you say you're tipping Launceston on Saturday?
Yeah, I think Launceston will get this up. I think they've just turned the corner. They seem to be hitting their straps at the right time. North Hobart Oval, they've got real experienced bodies in that midfield, and I think that they might be the ones that can get that ball. If you get it in quickly, doesn't matter how many tools you've got. I think quick delivery means they give just one-on-one, and I think they might get the chocolates in this one.
Yeah, fascinating game in the elimination final. Lauderdale playing their first ever finals, and congratulations to them. That was their goal at the start of the year, so they've ticked that off. Now to get a win, and Glenorchy, who've probably flown under the radar just a little bit. They're coming in some really good form.
Yeah, they've probably surprised a little bit. Everybody thought that they might take a couple of years to develop, but I saw them against Lauderdale, down at Lauderdale probably a couple of months ago, and they got belted. They just brushed aside off the ball, and Lauderdale looked bigger, stronger, and yet they got overrun at KG5 the next time they played. So maybe at North Hobart this will tip the scales in Lauderdale's favour. Again, you have to hope they're not too disappointed about getting that win over Clarence, but still losing 3rd spot. So hopefully they can put that out of their mind. But it's certainly going to set up a cracking game.
We've seen Lauderdale, they've got some big bodies in the midfield, like you said, like Marcus Fitz and Kane Waller and these kind of guys. And you look at Glenorchy, they've got some outside run, Joe Bowen, Zach Webster, and these guys. Is it simply going to come down to that, an inside Lauderdale versus an outside Glenorchy game?
Yeah, I think so. North Hobart, that's where probably Mark Corbett is probably the biggest loss for Glenorchy on a ground like this, who really goes in and gets the job done. So, everybody knows the Magpies' game plans revolved around the little fleet-footed guys on the outside that go and, get the ball and run and carry. So that'll be stifled a little bit, but you still, the ground's big enough that if you can sort of run from the back line and penetrate, and if Jay Bowden's up and running, well, he's very hard to stop, by anybody in the competition. So it's, they'll have their work cut out, but I think that in a tighter contest, if that's where it's going to be won, especially in finals footy, I think Lauderdale might have just a slight favouritism heading into this.
The loss of Cassidy, obviously he's been the leading goal kicker for Lauderdale all season, and to lose him on the eve of the finals, that's going to upset their structure a little bit.
Yeah, it will. It's especially there. He's the one man that if you get it out of the middle quickly and kick it forward, he's the guy who takes the marks, I guess. So I suppose they've prided themselves on the versatility though all the year. They've got Jack Siggins, Alex Hill, even Josh Roberts can go forward, full back. I've seen him being switched from the back line forward in second halves. So I think they've got enough options to cover Cassidy, and I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, so two intriguing finals. They're both at North Hobart Oval on Saturday. We had the elimination final at 11:45 and the qualifying final between Clarence and Launceston starting at 2:15. And remember, for your TSL stories, pick up your copy of the Mercury or go to the Mercury online.